Good afternoon. Case study number 12, Mason Graham, BCT 217, Group 11. Agenda. We're going to do a study review, kind of some background questions, mistakes were made, reasons to offer pre-construction services, and final comments. All right. Here's the professor's question. Um, Pretty straightforward, right? 20K out of pocket. Did you mess up? Little some background stuff going on with the other GCs and the yeah. Okay, so background. 20 grand out of pocket, no closer to winning a bid. The owners have been shopping around, so the rumor is that they've been working with other GCs to possibly do other pre-construction stuff. So they're kind of feeling out the market, trying to see what best fits them, or maybe they're just trying to get this nice little neat pre-construction packet that they can do on their own and then sub out to work themselves. Wild things do happen. I mean, we're talking about a golf club. This is pretty expensive. I'm assuming that this is a 2 million plus, so 20K really isn't a lot. But if you don't want to bid, it doesn't look good. We know that the clients are serious because they have a designer. The designer does have a contract. So a lot of questions here, a lot of unknowns. But what is known is, as a PM, you're not 20 grand into this, a lot of work, time, energy, and effort, with nothing to show. No bid, no nothing. All right, mistakes were made. You, as a PM, have committed an error. It's not an egregious error, and it's nothing that we can't work around. But you have overextended yourself. I believe you have overextended yourself if you do not win this bid. So you're 20 grand, right? Time, energy, effort, work, and it's all been used by this potential client. You're no closer to bidding. You didn't establish a pre-construction contract, so there's nothing tying you to this bid. There's nothing tying you to this client other than good faith, which, as we learned, is good faith is part of the contract, process. But since they've also been shopping around and using other GCs, we can say that these guys are pretty frugal, maybe a little shady, possibly. We don't know. But they're definitely not opposed to using other people to do the same thing that you're doing with no contractual obligations to anybody other than the designer. So my thought process on mistakes are, like I said, you've overextended yourself. You've spent, 20K, no closer to bid approval. So you have nothing to show for the money, energy, time, and effort that you've used. Nothing whatsoever. Uh, some possible ways forward. Most likely, what you need to do is strap in and see it through. Ultimately, 20K is less than 1% for the potential payout for this project, assuming this is a $2+ million building. But you've put yourself on a limb and in a precarious situation because, I mean, you don't have any, you haven't made anything yet. There's no contracts and nothing. So that's why I say the best thing to do is to strap in, get these guys, work with them. Maybe get the rest of it, stop all the free work, get a contract saying, hey, we're going no further than this because this, what we've spent, time, energy, and effort represents so much percentage of a potential payout. We're going to need a pre-construction contract going forward. Um, we need to protect yourself and your company's interest by contracts, right? By not providing contracts, or by not, having something written of like some kind of interaction, anything that basically says, hey, look, we're here to do this. These are the services we're going to provide. We expect this, this, and this, so on and so forth, so that you at least have something to show for the time, energy, and effort, right? Learn to be flexible, but set backstops on the extent you're willing to provide. And we'll get a little bit more into this on the next slide, but it's just, it is a give and take. We talk about that, contract negotiations. You kind of have to understand what they want, what you want, how we meet in the middle, how can we, come to common ground. But ultimately, there needs to be somewhere a line in the sand, a backstop that says, hey, we cannot go any further without some kind of pre-construction contract, without something that says, hey, at this point, we're in a binding legal agreement. Reasons for pre-construction services. All right, so it showcases your capabilities, builds confidence in your potential clients of your service, and it's a competitive marketplace. Every advantage helps, right? So when it comes to, providing pre-construction services, right, especially if it's a large commercial building, things like this, where there's, a substantial amount of money in flow, like, you need to be competitive. You want to showcase and say, hey, this is what we can provide, these ideas, these services, and how that stacks up against your competition, right? And the only way to do that is to offer some of these services to build good rapport with the potential clients and have that good common ground, right? So the basis of the contract negotiation before the bid even opens up, right? Builds confidence, right? If you have multiple GCs that are working to secure this bid and 3 of the 4 show up, very unprofessional, not organized, not presenting the capabilities that you would expect for a very large commercial project, right? And your number, when you show up and your ducks are in a row, you have the contract, you have, everything that you need to be successful in what you should expect to bring to a client during this pre-construction phase, right? That looks good. It looks good on you as a PM. It looks good on your company. And it's really going to go a long way helping you become a successful bidder in this. And then, like I said, competition. It's a very competitive marketplace. Lots of companies will be there looking to bid on this. So every step helps. Everything that you're able to provide that beats out your competition is one step in the right direction. Final comments. Final comments are pretty straightforward, right? Yes, as a PM, you overextended yourself. You gave too much for nothing. And again, understanding that this could be a very large payout if the bid is successful. But if it's not, now you're 20K out and it doesn't look good on you. So kind of, again, there's that point, being flexible, like what can we give, what can we do up into a point, and then at that point we need to start looking at legal contracts to kind of solidify yourself as a PM and then them as a client, like the right limits. And then finally, the flexibility. It is a competitive marketplace, and anything that you're able to provide that separates you from your competitors will always be a good thing. But too much of a good thing can hurt you in the long run. Thank you, Mason Graham, BCT 217, Group 11.